Okay, better. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, guys. Welcome, Mavina. How are you? How are you guys doing? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Hello, guys. As usual, please just rep your city for a minute. Let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. Just let me know where you're watching from. Rep your city. 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 Okay, Kitchener. I see you. Houston. Yeah, in my city, Nissan. Oh, Nissan. If I'm pronouncing your name right. Who is in Spring, Victoria? That's a lie. Candy, Texas. Benin City. How are you? How are you, everybody? How are you, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Ella. Good to see you. Okay, guys, as usual, we have just like an hour or a little bit above an hour if it spills. So we're going to jump right into it. Before we say so, okay, first off, okay, got you. Nairobi, Frank, I see. Before we start, who was here yesterday? Tell me one thing you learned yesterday. Just one liner, two liners, something you learned yesterday, something you learned yesterday before we jump in for today. Yeah, Tony from Kent. I see you. Somebody tell me something you learned yesterday. While we're doing that, please don't forget this event is running all through the week. It's a 1 week thing, 1 hour every week. Just to talk about, yeah, Victoria said, nice guys don't please God. Yes, because they are so interested in pleasing people. So they eventually, do not please God. Yes. Yes. One way to stop being a nice guy is by conquering your fear of rejection. That's good. Yeah, someone says you should ask a woman out 3 times. Exactly. Do not do that, please. Thank you, everybody. I'm happy. I'm seeing some good things. But did you invite somebody for today? Everybody, look for someone. Send them a reminder. Everyone here, send somebody a reminder right now. Today's session is money, so it concerns everybody. Nice guys,
not just nice guys.
Yes, but really, we want him to talk about the nice guys that are naive, that are not paying attention. Life is passing them by. I want him to hit them, with some solid stuff today that will help them. And all right, so we have today. His name is Deepo. He's a financial expert. I'll let him introduce himself a bit, but he's a financial expert. He has been doing this for a while. And today he's here to educate us. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me all the way from Maryland, USA, Deepo Adeshina.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me, PK. It's an honor. Anytime I get a chance to talk about the subject of money, it's just something that, it just boils in me because it's something that I'm passionate about. And I strongly believe that everyone that's present today, tonight, or depending on what part of the world that you're coming from, you're going to learn something about money that you probably knew before, but from a different light that will change the way that you think about money, right? Can you hear me clearly, Pastor Kingsley?
Absolutely.
Okay. So how are we doing this? Is it more like Q&A, or am I just kind of shooting?
Flow a bit. Then, if people have questions, they will ask you. But for now, the floor is yours. Flow.
Okay, gotcha. So as we kind of talk about money tonight, I've been fortunate to be studying this subject for over 20 years. All right. I've studied a lot of wealthy people. I've been around a lot of financial affluent people. And if there's one thing that I've discovered over the last 2 decades about people who are successful and people who are not successful, is that wealthy people think differently than poor and average people. I think that kind of sums it up, that the way that the poor and the average person thinks is different than the way a wealthy person thinks. Now, one of the things that I often hear people talk about is that the economy is hard. Depending on what country you're chiming in from, you may say the government is not doing their best to make sure that everybody is successful. But one thing I've noticed is this, that if you take the best president in the world, if you take the best government in the world to any country and you have them govern that particular country, the rich will still be rich and the poor will still be poor. And I want that to sink in for a second, that it's not about essentially what's going on in society per se, as much as what is going on inside your mind when it comes to money. So one of the things I always like to talk about is what I call your money or your financial blueprint. Every single person that's watching this live right now, you have a money blueprint. Some people's money blueprint is conditioned to think from a poverty standpoint, lack. And some people's money blueprint is conditioned to think in abundance. All right. So I'll give you an example. A person who has been earning $50,000 every single year, that's your annual salary. Or maybe if you're in Nigeria, maybe you earn 100,000 naira every single year. The reason why you're earning what you're currently earning now is because your financial thermostat is set at that level. So your employer will only pay you based on what they think the value you're bringing to their organization. All right. So you may think you deserve a raise. You may think that based on where you are, you should be earning more money. But that's not how it works. The way it works is that you are only paid in direct proportion to the value that you're bringing to your employer or the marketplace. And I always tell people this, that if you're earning $50,000 a year right now, you're not supposed to be earning more than that. If you eventually, somehow, some way, get the opportunity to earn 75,000, 100,000, sooner or later, you will always come back to 50,000. The reason is because there is something about your thinking. There is something about your relationship with money that causes you to always come back to the level that you are mostly comfortable with. And this theory has been proved so many times when you look at lottery winners. So when we talk about what nice guys don't know about money, it's not about making a lot of money. It's about what do you know up here to help you to maintain a certain level of income. So when you look at lottery winners, for example, and then we'll kind of go into different segments. Lottery winners have a certain way of thinking before they actually won the lottery. So when they win the lottery, 5, 10, some of them 15 years down the road, they come back to where they were before, and in some cases to a worse off condition before they won the lottery. Why? You can give a poor person a lot of money, but if they don't have the technicalities, the principles, and the money management skills to manage that money, they will always come back to the level that they're comfortable with. So as you're watching this live tonight, one of the questions you have to start asking yourself is, what is your money blueprint? What are you conditioned to earn, to make every single year? All right. And my favorite statement is this, and forgive me if you're not a Christian. If you're a very spiritual person, you can fast for a very long time. You can pray for a very long time. You can pray for money. You can do all these spiritual things. But one thing that you always have to understand is this, that money does not answer to praying. Money does not answer to fasting. Money does not answer to all these spiritual things that we think about. Money only answers to one thing: principles. So when you understand the principles of money, then by default, you will always become wealthy, or you will always attract money. All right. Now, I said earlier that I've been fortunate to study a lot of successful people. And some of you may also know this. If you look at the top, maybe 100 or even 200 wealthiest people in the world, you'll realize that a lot of them are not religious. A lot of them don't know God. They are atheists or whatever the background may be, but somehow the world still seems to trust them with money. The reason is because they understand that money basically is an exchange for value. And number two, money flows when you understand the principles of money. If I'm making sense so far, let me see some thumbs up, just to make sure that we're all engaging. All right, some thumbs up. If this is making sense, let's see some thumbs up in the chat. All right, I see 100%. Awesome. Perfect. All right, so now let's kind of go into the nitty-gritty of some of the basic practical things of what nice guys, nice gals don't know about money, and why you as an individual need to start thinking differently. I always like to start with the mindset, because if the mindset is wrong, anything you build on top of it is total colossal. Now, number one, poor people save money and wealthy people invest money. All right. I'm going to say one more time, and then I'm going to take my time to break it down. Poor people save money. Wealthy people invest money. Now, why is that so important? I come across a lot of people, and it's amazing how so many people actually do this. They have a lot of money sitting inside of a bank account, and to them, in their mind, they're actually doing financially okay. Now, to a certain extent, that is true. But to a greater extent, you're actually losing more value of your money because of you not understanding the principles of money. Now, I don't know how things work in different parts of the world, but I will break it down here in the United States. Whenever you take money, all right, so let me pull out some cash. All right. So this is, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is $1,000. All right. If you take $1,000 and you deposit it inside of a bank account, that $1,000 that's in the bank is actually not inside of the bank, as much as you like to think so. So if you go inside of your wallet, your online banking portal, and you log in, you're going to see the actual amount that you deposited, but that is not real money. All right. Those are just digital numbers. Now, when it comes to understanding how money works and the flow of money, this will help a lot of you guys. Whenever you deposit money in the bank, this is $1,000. The money does not sit in the bank. All right. By law in the United States, when you deposit $1,000, the law says that the bank is mandated to keep $100 inside of their books. All right. You're still seeing the $1,000 in your system, but according to the bank, only $100 must remain on their book. the rest of the $900 that you saved, the banks take that money and they loan it out to other people in exchange for money. All right. So when you think about it this way, where do banks get money that they loan people? I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that. When you go to the bank and ask bank for a loan, maybe you want to buy a new car, you want to buy, real estate property or anything of that nature. Where does that money come from? There's only one entity in the United States that's allowed to print money, and that is the Federal Reserve. So that means all the money that you and I deposit in a bank is being reissued back out to people in the form of a loan. That is how banks make money. So when I tell people that poor people save money, wealthy people invest money, is because they understand this very simple concept that I just explained to you. All right. And this same concept, I would like to believe that it's probably true, irrespective of whatever country you're in. So if you're in Nigeria, I see some people from Canada, some people from UK. The concept is probably true in all these different parts of the world. That when you save money and your money is not actively moving, that money is being utilized to invest in other things. And number two, you are losing value of the money that you're saving inside of the bank. All right. Now, let me see. Are there any questions so far, PK, that we need to address, or are we still good?
No, just flow. Just flow. When we get to the end, we'll take questions.
Okay, perfect. All right. So one of the things that I always teach people is, in as much as you've cultivated one of the most important elements of building wealth, which is saving a portion of your income, the most important aspect of that equation is taking that money and then investing it into other income producing assets. There's a verse in the scripture that I love so much, and I'm gonna pull it up real quick and just kind of read it. All right. So this is coming from Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 1-4. I'm not taking you guys to church. I'm giving you principles, right? So irrespective of your religion, it really doesn't matter. Principles cuts across all board. It says, this is a different translation talking about investing. Invest your money in foreign trades, and one of these days you will make profit. Number one, the purpose of investing is to make profit. When you save money, the only person who makes money is the bank. They're making a profit. All right. Put your investments in several places. What is he talking about? It's talking about multiple streams of income. Right? That's another thing nice guys don't know about. Most people think that the only way to make money is through their primary source of employment. So they will work 20 years. They will work 30 years. They will work 40 years for the same company and wonder why they can never get ahead financially, because in the world and the economy that we're living in today, the only way to thrive and become financially buoyant is to make sure that you have multiple streams of income. So it says put your investment in several places, many places even, because you never know what kind of bad luck you are going to face in this world. And I'm going to go to the last verse. If you wait, listen, there's 189 of you guys watching this. I need you to listen very closely to what I'm about to say right now, because this is going to change your life. If you wait until the wind and the weather are just right, you will never plant anything and never harvest anything. Let me explain what that means to you. There are a lot of you guys watching this right now, and you're so afraid to invest. You're so afraid to put money into anything that will help you earn money because you are afraid to lose money. Listen to what it says. If you wait until the wind and weather are just right, you will never plant and you will never harvest anything. What does that mean? There is never a right time to invest your money. Let me say that one more time. There is never a right time to invest your money. The time to start investing is now. All right. The second best time to invest was yesterday. So if you're the type of person who, God willing, you're in a position where you're generating a very decent income from your job or maybe your business, you got to understand this, that you need to be able to diversify that money into different streams of income. All right. Now, once again, I don't know what's going on in the part of the world that you're in, but in our world, in the United States, we are feeling the impact of what we call unemployment, meaning a lot of employees are starting to realize that, yo, why do I need to keep this employee that I'm paying $100,000? I'm paying them $150,000 a year, and I can get an AI that I don't have to pay anything and will still do the job better than a human. So a lot of employees, Amazon just laid off 15,000 people, and this is just the beginning. So if you think your job is safe because you have this high six-figure job, believe me when I tell you, things are just getting started. So what you got to start thinking about is, how do I strategically start positioning myself where my money is working for me? All right. So many people have been conditioned. They're so used to working for money that they've never thought about the concept like, wait, what happens when I can no longer work for money? What happens when one day you wake up and you say, let me go to work, and your body said, no, you're not going anywhere? It happens. Old age kicks in, right? Fatigue. Now you don't even want to go to work. See, the day you stop working, your money needs to be able to replace you working. All right. So that is why while you're still working, you want to make sure simultaneously your money is also working for you. Because one day, that one day comes for everybody. One day will come where your body will physically no longer be able to do the job that you're doing now. All right. So it's important for you to understand what I'm telling you right now, that it's okay to make multiple six figures. All right. But making multiple six figures does not mean that will be your where you'll be forever. All right. And I'm going to drop this nugget as well. Maybe I should now switch over to another point that nice guys, nice gals don't know about money. If you don't control your money will control you. If you don't know how to manage your financial resources, you will be enslaved to money. I'll give you this example. A couple of years ago, I was having a consultation session with one of my clients. She's a physician, all right, makes $350,000 a year. And we would just kind of go over the finances, put strategies together, and she was doing okay, but we got her into a position where she's doing a lot better. And she said, Depot, my situation is actually okay. That I have another physician friend. He makes $750,000 a year, a doctor here in the United States. But you know what she said? She said he lives paycheck to paycheck. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking like, yo, what? Like, that doesn't even make sense. That how do you make $750,000 a year? That's about $50,000 plus every single month. And you still live paycheck to paycheck. It sounds ridiculous. And that is why I always tell people that it's not about how much money you earn. It's about what financial disciplines do you have to control your money. Because as his income increased, this will also happen. His lifestyle also increased. Right? So now with a higher paycheck, now he's living in a multi-million-dollar house, driving multiple six-figure vehicles. All the kids are in private schools. So everything increased as his income also increased. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people don't know about money. That when your income increase, your lifestyle either needs to stay the same, or you need to drop it a little. Why? Because as your income increases, you have more cash flow that you can now invest into other income producing assets to multiply your wealth. So if you're the type of individual right now where you're making pretty decent amount of money and you have no idea where your money's going every single month, it's not because you're not, you don't. It's not because you're not making a lot of money. It just means you're not disciplined. Let me put it that way, right? When you're not disciplined, your money will discipline you. It's one of the other. You either discipline or control your money, or your money will control you. And as we talk about that, that's why it's so important to make sure you have systems and structures in place to make sure that you have a grip on your money. We're talking about budgeting. We're talking about being able to allocate a portion of your income to different segments. Do you have money set aside for investments every month? Or are you automating a portion of your paycheck to an investment account? Are you automating a portion of your income into a savings account, right? And then other giving, all these different segments. And one of the things, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this, one of the things that I always get, people always say anytime I'm doing a seminar or I just hear people say this, is that Depot, man, this is America, man. This is America. Like bills. I can't afford to save. And my response is always the same. You can't afford to pay taxes. Nobody watching this right now, especially if you're in a Western world, you cannot afford to pay taxes every time you get paid. When you get your pay stub, the tax that the government takes, you can't afford to pay that tax. But somehow the government takes the tax and you're still able to survive on whatever is left. So my response has always been, if you can afford to pay taxes, then you can afford to save money. Because here's the reality, in as much as I talked about poor people save money, wealthy people invest money, if you don't cultivate the habit of putting aside a portion of your income every single month, you will never in your lifetime become wealthy, even if you make multiple six figures. Because the only reason why you're making the multiple six figures or whatever you're making now is because by God's grace, you still have the strength. But the day you can no longer go to work, or the day, God forbid, you lose your source of income, that's the day you know the importance of, number one, having a nest egg, and number two, having streams of income to be able to help you to offset those things. Okay? Now, I know I've been shooting the breeze. I feel weird just keep talking. I can do this for 2 hours straight, man. Any input? What's your thought, PK?
Yeah. I think what you're saying makes sense. But now I want you to speak to the guy that is really not making enough. That feels, look, I am, I can't even pay my bills.
Yeah.
All right. I'm earning way too low. Excellent. What is the first step he has to do or she has to do to get off that rut in the first place?
I love it. This is such an amazing question. So one of the things that changed my life is the day that I realized that value attracts money. Value attracts money. That when you give something when you give value in exchange, people give value in exchange for money. Somebody once said that when a person with money meets a person with value or idea, that the person with the value or idea will leave with the money, and the person with the money will leave with the idea. One of the biggest problems that I see today is that so many people have been conditioned to think that the only way to make money is through employment. All right. Meaning I exchange my time for dollars. That's great. But if you are in the predicament right now where, genuinely speaking, in your environment and you're in a sphere, there are no income opportunities. There are like no jobs in your area. That is where the concept of deployment comes into play. So we have employment and then we have deployment. Deployment simply means that what value do you have that you can give in exchange for money? All right, that's number one. Number two, if you strongly believe that you don't have anything to give in exchange for money, then the second question is, what skills can you learn in exchange for money? See, there is no way we can beat about this, right? In order for you to make money, you have to give something in exchange for money. And if you don't have anything to give, you have to go and learn something to give. All right. Now, I'll give you guys an example. Most people know me today as this financial guru, financial guy, but it didn't start yesterday. All right. So when I speak or when I create content around financial literacy, wealth building, it's because I took the time to actually learn principles and put them into action and saw results. And then I start educating people. What am I doing? I'm giving value. All right. Now, the only reason, for example, I'm on this live today, the only reason is simply because PK believed that I have some type of value to give to everybody that's on here tonight. So if you are truly in that predicament where you really feel stuck in life, this is where you got to start doing inventory of, number one, what am I good at? Like, what are my true passion? What can I do right now that most people cannot do that they'll gladly pay me for it? Number two, if I'm not good at anything, what skills can I develop now that's easily marketable in my environment or even on a global scale, right? So for a lot of people, you will probably have to lean towards the second part, learning a new skill. Why am I saying that? We're living in a world today where artificial intelligence has changed the landscape of everything. All right. You wake up tomorrow and what you knew today is almost irrelevant tomorrow. So if you're the kind of person who like to learn new things, there's so many opportunities, and I can't even imagine how many people are missing this. There's so many opportunities with leveraging artificial intelligence that you can use to start positioning yourself as an expert in any field. All right. In any field. You're talking about, being a consultant. You're talking about creating content. You're talking about learning in a brand new field and start educating people in that particular sector, and then using that to become a brand, around yourself. And then you start charging people to take a course, so many different things. Okay. So the bottom line is nobody really has an excuse as to why they can't make money in this new economy. All right. And my favorite quote now is, we've moved from the world of employment to deployment. Deployment means, what do you have to deploy to the world in exchange for money? All right. Does that make sense, PK?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So from what Big Boy is saying, number one, I think you must be intentional. You must be intentional about your journey. That's one of the things nice guys don't do. They just think life and money particularly is a matter of luck. They think some people are just lucky. My time will come. God's time is the best. And I've tried to tell people all the time on my platform that God's time is now. the delay in your life has nothing to do with God. God is ready right now if you are ready. In fact, you think you are waiting on God, God is the one waiting on you. So you have to be intentional about your journey in life. In fact, in the inner circle, when we start the inner circle, one of the things we're going to help people do is to set their financial goals. You have to set the age and the amount of money you need to retire. You have to set those goals. You have to set the goals of when you will stop working for money and money will start working for you. You have to set those goals. You have to be intentional. All right. That's the first thing you have to do. The second thing you have to do from what the guy is saying is to work on your mindset. You see, no matter how intentional or even desperate you are, if you lack the mental capability and capacity for the level you are dreaming about, you will never get there. Absolutely. So that is why you must be very intentional about the circle you put yourself in. All right. Statistics has shown that you will always remain financially around the circle that you're in. Mm-hmm. So one of the simple things to do if you want to improve your finances is just make sure you're in the right circle. Again, This is why we have inner circle. Makes no sense for anybody watching me, a guy, not to be in inner circle. And I tell the guys that tell me they don't have money, I say, that is the very reason. Not having money is the reason to join. It's not the reason not.
PK, let me add something to that. And I'm glad you brought that up. One of the things I wrote down was that your network will equal your net worth. And I like the fact you talked about, people talking about not having money. And I'm going to share the story with you guys because if you haven't yet joined the inner circle, I don't know. But let me share the story with you. When I was 18 years old, I was in college, first year in college. And one of my friends invited me to a business meeting. At that time, I didn't know it was a network marketing meeting. All right. It was just a meeting. I've never heard of network marketing. I went there and I saw a lot of wealthy people talking about money. And I was like, wait, like this kind of money is real. I saw cars that I didn't even know people can even afford to drive those cars. And I remember to join that network marketing meeting cost $400 to join the organization. I'm a college student, PK, broke, no money. So after the meeting, my mentor now, I told him, I said, I don't have $400. And he said something that completely changed my life. He said, if you want $400, all you have to do is ask 400 people to loan you $1. If you can't get 400 people to loan you $1, go and ask 20 people to borrow you $20. So in other words, he broke it down in a simple way that if I was truly serious about taking my finances to the next level, there is no excuse as to how to get the financial resources to join the organization. In 2 to 3 days, I already have $400. Why? It was about the mindset.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't about the business per se, even though I made money, I was successful. It was about being in the right inner circle. Mm-hmm. And from the age of 18, so today, almost 40, that one single decision when I was a freshman in college completely changed my life. Why am I saying that with you guys? It's part of my notes right here, right? That I wrote down. Your network will equal your net worth. If you surround yourself with poor people with limiting beliefs, no matter how hard you try, how much you pray, you fast, you will always be the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. All right. So when you join an organization or a group like the inner circle, guess what you're doing? You're rubbing minds with people who are up here. Listen, I think I heard somebody say, it might have been Apostle Selman. He said, look, if 5 of your closest friends are rich, you'll be number 6 sooner or later. And if 5 of your closest friends are poor, sooner or later, you'll be number 6. There is no way around it. So I just wanted to kind of buttress your point when you brought that up, because it was a point that I wrote down that I didn't even get to share yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, if you man, this is the whole reason why we set up the inner circle. I I was saying it yesterday that the society is built on the shoulders of men. And I know what life can be like for a man when he's not hitting his goals, achieving his dreams, especially financially and otherwise. I know what happens to a man's confidence and identity. So this is why we have the inner circle. If you're a man and you think, "Oh, I'm too broke to afford it," that then you have to be there. You are the one that needs it the most. For you, it was set up. You have to go and find a way. Like Deepa said, it's about changing your mindset and saying, "I'm gonna be there." You know, I was sharing the story yesterday that a 19-year-old heard about it, said he has to join. Of course, he did not have the money. He went to find the first $500, then got his stepmom to add another $500. He had registered, you know. So I was so excited that a 19-year-old had that level of determination. And I've had a lot of people as well that at the time they started, they couldn't afford it, but they said, "I'm going to join." And somehow the money came out. And that is the principle of life we're going to show you, that this earth doesn't lack resources. All right. It's just men that lack the mental capability. So imagine spending a whole year with these men. Now, these are not even all the men. There is a larger number of men. These are just those we can put on the fly. There's nobody here that is not worth spending time with. All right. And if you join us for the whole year, there's no way your life is not going to change. It's a whole year. All right. There's no way your life is not going to change. You're going to be rubbing minds with very solid minds. There's no way it's not going to affect you. All right. Look at the quality of people. Okay. So if you're a man watching me, they'll put the links in the comment section and the bio and everywhere. Register, join, find a way to join. And the good thing is I will have a discount all through this week during the course of these live sessions. There will be a discount. They'll put all the links and the discount code and everything for you. Take advantage of it. I think it's like a 20% discount. Take advantage of it. This is just too good. This is like spending $100 every month to be hanging out with these people. It's the cheapest you would ever get of anything of this kind. And it's the biggest and most extensive male coaching program in the world that's going to run for a year and cover every aspect of a man's life. We're covering the 10 major F's of a man's life. I don't know if the team can put up those areas. We're covering, the 10 major areas of a man's life: your faith, your finance, your family life, be fatherhood, fitness, that is talking about your health, future, that's talking about your legacy, friendships. A lot of men don't have solid friendships. Talk about faithfulness, that's your character. You talk about fulfillment. A lot of men live their whole lives just paying bills. They don't realize that there is a dimension of life that is fulfillment. All right? That is fulfillment. And you can't just get that by just paying bills. You have to do something meaningful because your life is just one shot. This is not rehearsal. It's only one life you get. So you have to get it right. All right. So it's like paying $100 monthly, but you're going to pay it in bulk. That's the difference. All right. There's the bi-yearly, you can pay half of a year and all that as well. But there's discount right now for those registering. Jump on it. It's virtual. You can jump from anywhere in the world. Even if you miss one of the classes, you can always get a replay and all that. And this man will be here mentoring and all that. Some of them will mentor, will pick up one or two people one-on-one as well. It's something you have to join if you're a man. If you're a woman here, you have to get your husband to join. You have to get your fiance to join. Don't let him give you any excuses. He has to be in this circle. This is the kind of place it needs to be. And the beauty of this is that it's not only about money, because that's one of the mistakes I see with men. They just focus on money. So they have a lot of money, but they lose family, they lose their health, they lose their children. They just focus on making money. But this balances everything. We're looking at all the areas of a man's life. It covers the 10 major areas of a man's life. So you cannot miss it. All right. So there's a discount now. So you get to jump into that, and it will be a blessing to you. All right. Before we go on, I just want to talk about you. I saw one of your posts that you did, that you said one of your mentors paid a certain amount to be in a room with Warren Buffett. Please talk a bit about that. And guys, post up the speakers. Yes.
Man, I think I can't overemphasize the importance of mentorship. When I was talking about, this was I think maybe a month or so ago, I was in California with one of my mentors, and he paid when we were talking, he just kind of said it casually that he paid $3 million. Listen, guys, not $3,000, not 3,000 or 3 million naira, $3 million to have a meeting with Warren Buffett. All right. There were 10 people in that meeting. 3 that I remember was Hillary Clinton. She paid 3. Bill Gates himself, and then a couple of other people I can't remember. So essentially, they paid Warren Buffett $30 million to be in that meeting. And I said, Sanjay, why did you pay $3 million for? It's not even what you're very generous, PK. You're doing a 12-month session for $1,000. Like, I don't know how you're doing it, but I said, why did you pay $3 million just for a lunch or dinner meeting? He said, Depot, the reason why I did that is because, number one, he was getting ready to step down from Berkshire. And Warren Buffett's like 95 years old. He said, Depot, I want to tap into what's in here. $3 million, not for a whole day, not for a whole week, just for a session to tap into what's here. And what was interesting was from that meeting, he got one single idea that turned into, I think, $27 million, not in 1 year, in less than a couple of months. That he was able to take that idea, implement it in what he was doing, and boom, basically multiply or 10x his investment within a very short period of time. All right. So when I saw it, and once personally, I paid him to be my mentor. So it wasn't like I just visited him to while away his time. Not like it's a paid mentorship. Yeah. Because I understand that when you invest in knowledge, there is no way you can ever be poor in your lifetime. In any area. When I say poor, I'm talking your finances, in your family, in any area. Right. The other day, once again, talking about knowledge, I was driving with my wife, and as a man, like you said, PK, we all about money, and I'm always thinking about ideas. And my wife said something. He said, you think everything is just okay, like in our marriage, this and that. To me, everything is okay. We're not fighting. We go with the kids, but there are certain things that she needs emotionally and all of that stuff that I wasn't able to meet. Man, when she said that, I was like, man, wait a minute. When was the last time I even read a book on marriage? Yeah. I went home that day and I ordered 4 books just on marriage alone. Why? Because I understand that the more I learn in any particular area, the better I become and the more successful you become in that area. So when you see a program like the Inner Circle talking about the 10 or 12 Fs?
The 10 Fs. 10
Fs. Each area itself is worth thousands of dollars.
Yes.
I mean, I saw Dr. Cosmos as part of the speakers. We were together in Texas, was a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Do you know the kind of, I mean, we actually stayed in the same, residential location, and just to be with him for 1 hour, I said, geez, like, where else am I going to get this information had it not been we were in the same inner circle? So, guys, whenever you're talking about investing in coaching, in a course, in mentorship, only poor people will say they've come again. Only a poor person will say it's expensive, but yet that same person paid $20,000, $30,000, depending on where you went to school at, to go and get an education that they still can't afford to pay the student loan. See, when I tell you, listen, guys, I mean, this should be changing somebody's life right now. We are no longer in the employment economy. We're not in the deployment economy. And the only way to deploy is to be around a lot of people who've already been deploying for 10, 20 years, and you tap into what's in here, right? You tap into what's in here. So, I mean, I don't even know why I'm super pumped, man, but I'm just excited about this whole thing right now, man.
Me too. It's, I've never seen this quality of people together in a room, in a particular event, and that is going to cover, such a vast array of issues, because like I said, most times you either see something being done just for finances or something just for business, and that is the trick men are going through. They're just building one aspect of their lives most times, either business or finance. But having been a marriage counselor as well for many years, what you discussed, what you said now is the truth. Many men think everything at home is okay. Meanwhile, their wives are frustrated, their wives are tired, and he doesn't understand. He's saying, look, we have money, we're going on vacation, we're paying this, we're paying that, but he doesn't know how to love her. So this man has a thriving business. In fact, out there in the US especially, you find out the more people rise financially, it's like the marriage just goes down at the same time, because they're spending too much time in one aspect. As at about 7 years ago, 9 out of the 10 richest men in the world were divorced. 9 out of 10 richest men in the world were divorced. And these numbers are almost similar in almost any country. You find that once the man is making progress at a certain level, he drops every other thing. He sacrifices his children's well-being. He sacrifices his family well-being. He sacrifices his health, all on the shrine of making more money. And that is what we're trying to help men understand. That is not what you live for your children, it's what you live in your children. So there are a lot of aspects of life beyond just making money. And Inner Circle is here to help you balance that. So we have marriage coaches coming. You see people like Pastor Bisi Adewale there. We have Reverend Tunde Akiemi coming. He's going to talk about health, men's health. He's going to talk about long life, so many aspects. You see Pastor Mildred there. We're going to talk about how to marry a great woman. So a lot of times the man is moving forward so much, he's not paying attention to the woman. Only few homes where you have a successful husband of a successful wife. All right, so we're going to teach you how to do that so that you really be a power couple where both parties are strong and still united. And still making progress. So there's so much in this course. Really, even if this course was, $10,000, it would be cheap. It will be very cheap.
100%.
For the quality of people that are there. However, some people are still making excuses and trying to miss out on this. Some are saying they're going to attend the next one. Who told you there's a next one? Where are you going to gather all these people together for a next one? So like I said, don't have that mindset.
That's funny.
Press into it. We're going to start at the end of this month. But there's a discount throughout this week while we're doing this. They'll put the details there. These are not even all the speakers. These are just some of the people coming. All right. And like we mentioned, it's going to cover every aspect of your life, your faith, especially things like your faith, for instance. Most men never develop spiritually, and they don't understand that you can't lead a home without developing spiritually. You are the head of the home. It wasn't your village committee that voted you head of the home. It's an appointment from God. And growing God, you can't function as head of the home. You might be the landlord of the home, you might be the banker of the home, but being the head of the home involves you growing spiritually. Many men do not have that. They just want to make money. They cannot lead the home spiritually. So these are the things we are going to do in Inner Circle that nobody, I've not seen any course that covers it that extensively. So this is the biggest and the best male coaching program today in the world, and it makes no sense for you to miss it, especially because you've heard about it.
100%. Nah, this is good. This is good. And I like one of the things I also saw in there, which it's funny because most of the things that with the F's, I just saw another one talking about, legacy, something along that line. One of the things I wrote down is that poor people leave debt, rich people leave wealth for their family, right? That's so huge because there's so many men. This is where, having that family tithe comes together. I've seen so many men, PK, where they have so many assets or certain things that their spouse don't know about, right? And there's no way you can build wealth if you're not working unison with your spouse together, right? And I've also seen situations where, unfortunately, especially in this part of the world, where so many men pass away without having proper estate planning. And when you don't have proper estate planning, you are literally setting up your family, your wife, and your kids for financial doom. Because at some point in time, when you exit, your family will either only mourn emotionally because you're gone, or they will mourn emotionally and financially because you're gone. So as men, one of the most important things you can do to actually make sure that the people that you love and you care about are well taken care of is to make sure that you have proper estate planning. All right, to make sure that your assets are protected, to make sure you have enough financial life insurance contract in place to make sure that debts are paid off, home is paid off, and so many other factors along those lines, which I strongly believe, I guess in the inner circle, all these things will be covered to a great extent as well. So, I mean, I'm super excited just to kind of see what's going on. I see a lot of people commenting, how can I join? I mean, this is phenomenal.
Yeah. So the link is up there. You can see they posted the link, the discount code and everything. Take advantage of the discount. The link is there. The number to reach if you have any issues with payments or you need details, the number to reach is there. Please jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. All these men, most of these men are billionaires. So you can't be in a circle like this and be broke. It's not just going to happen. It's just not going to happen. All right. So we also talked about friendships. So part of what we discovered was that a lot of men don't have solid friendships, So this forum will give you a chance to network with high-level, high-value people all over the world. All over the world. One of the things I've enjoyed the most in my life is the power of relationships. I mean, there's literally no country I will get into that I won't see someone that would come out to take me out or something or to connect with. No country in the world, no city in the world. In fact, we were in Tennessee last 2 days ago or so, and we just said, who do we know in Tennessee? We just began to ask questions. And of course, a couple came to meet us. We had 1 or 2 people come to, and Tennessee is very white. If you know Tennessee, it's very white city. So Nashville, Tennessee. So it's like that. There's literally nowhere. So networking with the right quality of people, you will get information, you will get, connections, people all over the world. So this is not the kind of thing you want to miss for any reason. All right. So we've talked about you must be intentional. We've talked about you should network. All right. We also talked about the fact that you build solid relationship, all right, networking, then develop a skill. If you want to change your finances, you have to develop a skill. That is the best way to go. All right. You can get an employment. That's not bad, but ultimately strive to become an expert. All right. Try to become someone of high value. Like Dipo has been saying all day, there's a direct correlation between the value you bring and the money you make. No amount of prayer is going to make you wealthy. I'm a man of prayer. I'm a pastor. I'm a man of God. But I can tell you for free, you can't pray your way into millions. I can tell you for free. No anointing oil. No, nothing of that sort is going to make you a millionaire. Those things can only help your products and service that you have developed.
Wow.
All right, that you have developed to now go far. So, but you must become an expert, a person of value. Look, people that are very good at what they do are not looking for clients. Clients are always looking for them. In fact, they are turning down clients. All right, because they can't attend to all the clients are looking for them. So, the time you use to develop yourself is just too valuable. Become an expert. What area, what gap do you see that you can feel? All right. What gap do you see that you can feel? And it has to be something you love. The reason why it's important is something you love is that even if you don't start making money immediately out of it, the passion and the love will keep you. That becomes a fuel to keep you. All right. Because many people jump into something, they don't see results too quickly, they get discouraged and they just want to quit. No, this has to be something that, hey, I really want to add value in this area. And that passion will help you become very good at it. Very good at it, So these are a few things that can help you work on finances. So I want you guys to ask Dipo a few questions before we sign out. We still have a few minutes left. I want you guys to ask a few questions, Dipo, and you'll be able to answer them.
All right.
And if there are people signing up, please sign up. I'll mention your name once you sign up here, so that you can take advantage of this discount. Any questions for Dipo?
Questions.
While we're waiting for any questions, if you have any other thoughts, you can share.
I mean, I think I've kind of covered everything that I have written down today. But I think the last thing that I always like to sum up with that I learned very long time ago is that there are two things in life that will change there are two things in life that is guaranteed to change your trajectory, your success level, and that is the books that you read and the people that you keep. If you can work on those two things, I can assure you that in the next 12 to 24 months, your life will be completely different. All right. A person who is an avid reader, who loves to read and educate the mind, will always outperform, will always be more successful than somebody who does not like to read. Right. I learned that over 20 years ago. And that one principle has stuck with me. I mean, I've been buying books every month. I buy 3 to 4 books minimum, not because I just want to buy them, but because I understand the importance of feeding the mind. Right. I always tell people that there are two types of people in the world. You have producers and you have consumers. Consumers are people who buy what producers produce. Consumers are people who come on social media every day and all they're doing is this. They just scroll it. Mm-hmm. Producers are the people who are creating the content that you're watching, you keep scrolling on. So you have to decide what part of the world that you want to be in. Yeah. Do you want to be a consumer, right? Or do you want to be a producer? Consumers invest in liabilities. They buy things. Producers invest in assets. All right. Consumers consume content. Producers create content. So there's either way you want to look at it. One of the key elements of creating success is to make sure that you are on the right side of being a producer, so that way you can put yourself on the path to creating wealth. So that's all I have. I see somebody asking, would you rather advise to save until you are sure of the right investment or just take risk? Great question. Don't just take risk. All right. So taking risk can be you investing in Ponzi schemes, right? Because you said, oh, you have to invest and you just invest in anything. No. Right. It's always important, number one, to save money so you have capital to invest. But number two, you must do your due diligence in whatever you are investing in. I don't care who the person is. They may be bringing the best opportunity in the world. You must be the person who investigate what that investment is all about, and then determine whether or not you are going to invest. Because at the end of the day, and I need everybody to listen to this, the moment you invest your money into any vehicle, you are the only person who is responsible for the success or the failure of that investment. Mm-hmm. One of the things I see so common in our community, PK, is that when somebody invests and things doesn't go well, they go and blame the person who told them about them. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
They didn't force you to go and bring money and hey, come in. No, you took your money and you invested it in something that you should have done your due diligence on to make sure that this is a viable business. And if you don't know, this is where mentorship comes into play. Mm-hmm. Like everything is full circle. If you don't know, there's somebody else who knows, right? That can guide you as to what to do, what not to do, and things of that nature. So definitely save and then invest wisely while taking calculated risk. Okay. So let me see. I do see.
Do you advise investment in stocks as a way to start learning how investment works?
Oh yeah, stocks is one of the shortest way to become wealthy, investing in the market, right? Now, once again, you still have to know what you're doing, right? There are different strategies depending on your risk tolerance that would determine what you invest money in. But essentially, I mean, you do need to have some type of stock portfolio if you're going to build wealth. It's not the only way, but it's definitely one of the options that you want to consider, either in the United States or whatever part of the world that you're from.
All right. Somebody's also asking what are the good instruments you can use, to invest internationally or locally.
Good instruments, meaning what ways can you, when they say
Yeah,
instrument?
money instruments and things like that.
I want to make sure. What money instruments can you invest
Yeah,
in, or what?
investment instruments, things like that.
Okay, gotcha. Well, once again, it boils down to your risk tolerance, right? And I can't be here giving you financial advice before you say that guy Depot, he told me
Yeah.
to go and invest. So your risk tolerance, honestly, right? So you have if you're on a low tier of taking risk, you have your bonds, you have treasury bills, right? You have high yield savings account. Typically, the interest rate are fairly low, but you're guaranteed not to lose money, right? You have peace of mind. If you're on the mid risk, then you're looking at stocks and things of that nature, ETFs, index funds. If you're on a high risk, then you're looking at crypto, right? And to a certain degree, real estate. So your risk tolerance, and this is why it's very difficult to give a blank response to that, because it's when we kind of dialogue and understand where you are from a financial standpoint, what your risk tolerance is, that now determines which category will make sense for your situation. But ideally, you kind of have an idea of what options you have available.
Okay, someone is asking, what do you think about cryptocurrency?
Oh man, I love crypto. Now, let me preface that I'm a huge crypto investor. However, a lot of people who don't know anything about crypto, unfortunately, get caught up in Ponzi schemes. There's a recent, I can't remember this one that so many people invested in and lost money. Oh, LSSC and so many other investments out there that their payment mode is crypto, but you're not investing in cryptocurrency. You're only getting paid via crypto. So when you're getting into crypto, this is where education is so important, because anybody can wake up tomorrow and create a cryptocurrency project. All right. And before the day is over, that crypto's gone. Right. So when you're getting into crypto, you got to understand the nuances that's around the crypto sector, so that way you don't fall into the wrong hands. You don't invest in Ponzi schemes, and then when you wake up one day, all your crypto is gone. But generally speaking, personally, I think crypto is a high-risk investment, but for those who understand it, it's very rewarding, when you understand what and how to invest in it.
Yeah, someone is asking, what books do you recommend for someone trying to boost their financial success?
Right here. This is probably the Rich Dad Poor Dad is the one that everybody talks about, but The Psychology of Money, this book would change it. It would. So remember, I talk about mindset. This book will rewire how you think about money, right? So I strongly recommend this book for everybody, The Psychology of Money. There's some other books I bought recently. You have Richer, Wiser, and Happier. All right. How the world's greatest investors win in market and life. So there's so many books, but I think if I were just to recommend one that you can start with, I would say this one right here. Okay. The Psychology of Money.
Okay. Somebody said, what of Forex?
I don't do Forex, but I know there are people who do now. All right. So let me say this. There's a difference between trading and investing. For 90% of people, I would even say 95% of people who want to build wealth, you have no business trading. All right. Statistically speaking, I think it's more than 90% of people who trade actually lose money, meaning they never win. So if your goal is to build wealth, right? Yeah. So remember, building takes time. You want to be an investor. Let your money grow and compound over time. All right. Now, Forex is good, and was it FX or whatever? People do make money from it, but personally, I'm leaning more towards like just building wealth, letting my money work and grow over time, as opposed to just looking for that quick money. And once again, if you're not disciplined, you make the money quick, and the money's also gone quick.
Yeah. Somebody says, what do you think about investing in treasury bills in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think it's a great so I'm not sure what their rate is now, but I do think, once again, if you're looking for that safety, something that's guaranteed, anything that has to do with government bonds, they generally speaking, they don't default, right? And that's why a lot of people, a lot of countries buy treasury bills and bonds of other countries, because it's backed by the government. So that's definitely one of those avenues where you want to consider if you're thinking about safety.
All right. Thank you. Deepo, this was good. This I think will go deeper in the inner circle and even make it more personalized. So if you need more and more financial advice, definitely inner circle is the thing you need to join.
Yes, sir.
Taking advantage of discounts is one of the ways you actually invest. All right, being smart, knowing when something is a good deal and taking it. Inner circle is a good deal. Spending one-on-one with any of the guys on this bill will definitely cost you way more than what the whole year is costing. So, except you're not good in maths, this is a good deal. This is a good deal you need to take. So, guys, put the poster one more time. Put all the links and everything for people to join. If you guys are on Instagram and co, please follow Deepo. His page is always full of great advice. So go follow him to be a blessing. So these are the men coming. They need no introduction. These are some of the men, because they are more than this. And what we'll do in the inner circle is sit down with you, especially as a man, and we'll discuss your next 5 years. We'll plan your next 5 years. We're approaching the end of the year. A new year will come. People will start saying, Happy New Year, New Year, New Me. But they find out they never really achieve the goals they set out to achieve. We're going to work with you to plan the next 5 years. People overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. So we're going to sit down with you and plan the next 5 years of your life. You don't want to miss it, and give you some practical tips and pray with you and coach you and work with you for the whole year. So it's such a blessing. Jump on it, take advantage of the discount. It's running throughout the course of this event. And tomorrow we're going to have somebody else. Please, tomorrow, invite any guy that you know. Tomorrow's class is going to be on sex, I believe. It's going to be on sex. It covers everything. It just covers everything. Whether things like ED, erectile dysfunction, you'll be amazed how many people are having to buy all kinds of Chinese herbs and these herbs just to keep fit sexually and all that. Because a man's sexuality is a major part of his life as well. So you don't want to miss it. We have an expert coming. His name is Greg Oliver. He's an expert as well. He's going to be joining us tomorrow, same time. Help me invite people. I still want more people to talk for this event. So send the posters, send the flyers, send these videos to people all over the world. Let them join us as we do tomorrow. We don't like to take time because I know it's late in Nigeria. So we usually don't like to drag these events. So everybody show some gratitude to Deepo for coming out today. Deepo is going to be in Nigeria. He's flying to Nigeria tomorrow, actually. So look out for him. Those of you in Nigeria, go to his page, look out for where he'll be. You can attend these meetings, be a blessing. Yes, Greg Oliver is going to be with us tomorrow. Put back the poster if you want to put that back so they can see. Greg Oliver is going to be with us tomorrow. But please go follow Deepo. Check out where he's going to be in Nigeria during the weekend or the week and join and attend. Follow his page as well. Greg Oliver is going to be with us tomorrow. He's an expert. He has helped many men deal with issues relating to sex over the years. So it's somebody you want to listen to. Whether you're male or female, you can come, but please help me send invitations to the men. Let them come out. Deepo, thank you.
My pleasure. I appreciate you for having me.
Yes, me and Deepo are planning a tour very soon. So those of you in the US, look out for it. We're going to do a tour. We're just still doing the logistics around it. But you'll be able to see Deepo live, CV live, ask more personal questions. All right. So thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, Digo.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks a lot, PK.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys. Let's do it. Let's see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Go sign up in a second. See you tomorrow. Take advantage of discount, guys. Take advantage of discount.